It's called the News of the Week, and it's brought to you by our good friends at Eagle Mortgage. You hear Holly Schneiderwind on the radio sometimes on KFAB talking about Eagle Mortgage. We know them. We're friends with the company and truly believe in them. They help you with your mortgage, whether it's a sort of thing where you need one to buy a new house or if you're going to refi. Yeah, there's still some people out there who haven't refinanced. But let's talk a little bit about home buyers, people who are going to buy a new house. It is now February, which means that the activity level for houses is about ready to skyrocket. Usually mid to late February, it really, really heats up because
I see the signs going up.
Goodness. I mean, it's kind of like spring is like new birth renewal.
Yeah.
People buy houses in the spring like crazy. So get ready. Go to Eagle Mortgage now if you're thinking about doing it. Talk to them about a pre-approval letter so that you can have that all squared away and be prepared for the big rush. Because my guess, Trenton, this year is going to be a lot like last year where it's going to be competitive getting the house you want.
Think of it as like a vaccine that you can take to the showing and you're ready. People know that you're qualified and you can help them.
Now, if Eagle Mortgage comes up with a mortgage booster vaccine, I'll be even more impressive. So let's get into that news. Trenton, the big week. The big news of the week was the Omaha City Council approving 2 leases for the Omaha Public Library to occupy space in 2 different places. This is very necessary in order to pave the way for a W. Dale Clark demolition later this year, which of course paves the way for the skyscraper. But talk to us a little bit about those leases, especially since you're involved in one.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the one I wasn't involved with is the new branch that's going to be at 1401 Jones Street. White Lotus Development, a very qualified developer, is going to work with the city and redevelop a building that's 30,000 feet just south of the current site. And that's pretty exciting. Noddle Companies is going to talk to vendors and oversee the process of getting bids, bringing them back to the city on both these projects. And that is a great project. What I was involved with, and we're excited to welcome the library administrative, the archives, the distribution functions. I think there's some public interface to 90,000 square foot former Shopco space at 84th and Frederick, just south of Center, just north of the interstate. And it's a great space, and they'll go in there and do their own improvements, and we're excited. But it's great for the city of Omaha. And then over the next 5 years, they're analyzing, from my understanding, is a new main library that will likely be at 72nd and Dodge, but somewhere between 72nd and 90th and Dodge, and it'll be state of the art. And Omaha should be very proud of that. And lots of frosting on the cake is this the old site, which should be a 45 or 50 story Mutual of Omaha headquarters.
Very exciting stuff. And anytime you have a major change like this, sometimes you'll have a backlash from certain parts of the population. People get a little bit nervous. They worry that something is going on behind the scenes. And I just want to go out and say that from everything I have read, from every leader I have talked to, from everything I know about how you develop things in Omaha, this is a win-win-win and some more wins. This branch library office at 1401 Jones Street is going to be very nice. Some people say it's only 30,000 feet. People have to get out of their head that downtown is the library headquarters. It's not going to be anymore. This is going to be a branch office for the neighborhood of downtown. And for that, it is going to be more than adequate. Plus, it's also going to allow us to renovate a 110-year building in a cool part of downtown just west of the old market. That's a win. Moving the distribution and circulation and, of course, administrative office functions out of downtown means that you don't need as many vehicles and trucks going in to move books around. It makes more sense to have that at a more spacious area like 84th and Frederick.
And the occupancy cost is probably a fourth of Dodge Street or downtown.
Meanwhile, you get, now I'm going to show my personal bias here, and I apologize because there are probably some people out there who love brutalist architecture from the 70s. But meanwhile, you get rid of what I think is one of the ugliest buildings in downtown. Now, and some people say, but it's a great example of brutalist architecture. I read somewhere where it's only a mediocre example of brutalist architecture.
I'm a brutalist.
Well, you're not brutal. You're very kind and loving to people. If you were an architect, you wouldn't even ever design a brutalist building.
Yes. At the time, was it called a brutalist?
Yeah, that's the architectural style.
Really?
I mean, you know what? I've heard some architects say this, and I think it's kind of true. If you look at some of those buildings that were built in the late 70s and the early 80s, there was a lot of concern about the Cold War, that we had fallen behind the Soviet Union, people worried about nuclear war. And if you look, a lot of those buildings were very stout, thick brick concrete, limited windows. And the result was you built libraries and schools in that era that kind of looked like prisons.
I thought maybe that the contractor just owned a cement company or something.
If they did, that was a big deal for me. Anyway, very, very exciting stuff with those library leases. Kudos to the city council and all of the people
The mayor's office with their leadership.
who made that happen. There have been so many people from the library board to economic development officials who've worked their tails off coming up with that solution and making it go on a pretty rapid basis.
And one thing I'll say, and you were very involved. What's it been, 20 years? When you worked on the campaign to build the Quest Center.
Oh, yeah. That was like, what, 99, 2000 when I worked on that?
The Convention Center and Arena, and there are a lot of naysayers out there. It's a waste of money. It's a boondoggle, all this kind of stuff. And it's been profitable, and it's really transformed downtown. And we'd be hurting. We'd probably still be having chamber lunches at the Holiday Inn Central.
Which is gone now.
Right.
Trent, do you remember all of those events in our lifetime that you and I have been to in that old Holiday Inn Central?
All that rubber chicken.
And rice pilaf.
Buy the Big O shows. And
all the meetings. I can't count the number of times I've spoken there. I mean, as kids, we went to functions. In those days, that other than that Mancuso Hall at the Civic, that was Omaha's Convention Center in those days.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about another cool announcement that came out. This one was a press release from Google. And basically, Google announced that its investment in Council Bluffs has now exceeded a total of, are you ready for this? $5 billion.
Wow. They have about 1,000 acres. And does that include the original two buildings probably?
Yeah, it does. It includes the original two buildings along Veterans Highway, or what used to be called South Omaha Bridge Road, Highway 275.
Yep.
And then the 1,000-acre campus that is just south of Council Bluffs city limits, just north of the Mills County line. And altogether, $5 billion from one Fortune 10 company.
And now they've invaded Northwest Omaha.
Yeah, that doesn't count the project they're doing at Highway 133 and State Street. It doesn't count the project they're doing at Sarpy County.
What was the price on that one? Do you remember that one on 133?
No, it's not been announced.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, I don't because it's never been announced publicly that it's Google. I don't believe.
A couple million square feet.
Yeah, and then of course about 250, 300 acre campus they have at Schramm Road and Nebraska Highway 50 in Sarpy County. So that's pretty impressive stuff. 900 jobs, by the way, that Google has created in the Council Bluffs area. It doesn't even count the Omaha side.
Which is a lot of jobs for data centers.
Yeah, data centers don't need a lot of jobs. It's mostly just rows and rows. You and I once had the privilege of touring the Facebook building, and we can't talk about it too much because of the NDA we signed, but I think we can say that there were a hell of a lot of computers in there.
Yes, there were.
And it was a pretty impressive thing to see. So let's talk a little bit about Heartwood Preserve. Some really cool news came out from the developer real estate company representing part of Heartwood Preserve. First of all, let's talk about Capital Cigar Lounge. This is an upscale membership-based business out of Lincoln called Capital Cigar Lounge. It's private membership. They plan to open an Omaha club in a to-be-constructed building in Heartwood Preserve. The part of Heartwood Preserve would be just east of the new Valmont World headquarters and just south of the Carson Group headquarters and the BMW dealership right there. This would be upscale all the way, 16,000 square foot building. The Cigar Lounge would occupy the upstairs, 8,000. There would also be an outdoor roof patio. And then the developer / real estate company is working with Capital Cigar Lounge, to find a prime steakhouse that would possibly occupy the ground floor, opening in 2023. But Trenton, this is the type of project that people envisioned when they started talking about Heartwood Preserve, given the nice area and the demographics around there.
Smoke them if you got them.
And with that, we'll also say at Heartwood Preserve, there is another big announcement. Gundersen Jewelers, which is a very nice chain of jewelry stores out of Sioux City, Iowa. They have a location in Village Point. They're going to move that location to Heartwood Preserve as well, another freestanding building.
They're going to do more development there.
What's that?
Gundersen's like real estate, and they're gonna develop more than just their building.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it would be and there would be a 15,000 foot ground level building, 5,000 feet upstairs. But the cool thing about that building is, when it opens, that new Gundersen store at Heartwood Preserve will have the largest Rolex showroom in the United States.
Wow.
And right there in Heartwood Preserve.
So you can go from there to the Bentley dealership.
Which you have to go back to Village Point for that.
Yeah.
But you could go across the street to the BMW dealership and Land Rover, Range Rover.
Yep, Mini.
They have all that. It's called Onyx. So very cool stuff there. And let's end the news of the week with a feel-good story, something that we can all be proud of, because what makes you feel better than looking at cute photographs and videos of baby elephants? Baby elephants are pretty darn cute.
Videos of baby elephants.
The Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium just celebrated the second baby elephant to be born at the zoo in about a month's time. The first one was a female named Eugenia. The one that was born last week is a male, right, named Sunny. So there's now a total of 8 elephants at our zoo. And according to a World Herald article that came out yesterday, those 2 baby elephants will probably be the only 2 elephants born in the United States of America this year. In fact, there are only an average of 2 elephants born in America in any given year. So this is really, really cool.
They must be playing some serious mood music. What is that, 22 months? 20?
It's quite a long gestation period. Yeah. That gestation period is longer than our digestion
They must
periods.
have Spotify over there or something. They're playing some easy listening.
Well, in all seriousness, I think they've worked very hard at it. I mean, they've really designed their system to be very focused on breeding new elephants. And that's why they built the building the way they built it. In fact, it's my understanding, if I remember correctly, I think they can handle up to 12 or 15 elephants in the complex. So you'll probably see it. Anyway, when they start showing them to the public, I imagine it'll be awfully hard to get in there.
I bet you that bull elephant was using patchouli or some other nice scent.
And with that, we are concluding your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.